So guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful dress, right? It has a bow kind of collar and a turn-up sleeve. And of course, it has a belt with which you can use to give it shape if you choose to. Otherwise, it can be worn like this. So let us just say this is a two-in-one dress, all right? So if this sounds like something you'll be interested in watching, just keep watching. So these are the materials that I'll be requiring for this tutorial. And this is roughly about, it's less than a yard of black crepe fabric and then some beautiful Ankara prints alongside my tape roll, my scissors and my tape, and of course the measurements with which I will be working with. All right, let's just get right into it. And by the way, if this is your first time of stopping by in my channel, you're very much welcome. Please do well to subscribe, like, share, and leave us a comment. Know how this video has helped you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so very much for making it and sticking to this family.
So the first thing I did was to measure the length of the outfit. This is a long gown, so I measured it. I've cut two of it, and as you can see, there's not going to be any provision for zipper, so I'm cutting the front and the backs together. So the first thing I did was to measure my shoulder measurement, which was 8 inches. Now from that 8 inches, I went further to measure the sleeve extension because I'm cutting the sleeve together in this outfit. I measured 11 inches all the way down. I connected them with a line to help me know my markings. The next thing I did was to measure my half length. Like I said, that this outfit is going to be worn in two ways. One of the ways you can wear it is, tying the waist area, like giving it that fit around the waist area, or you can decide to just leave the dress to be just bubu, like as free as possible. So I went ahead now to measure my half length, which was around 16 inches. I connected that into a straight line, and it is on this line that I'm going to be attaching the rope like stuff that will be used to tie the outfit. So I went ahead and did that, and after I was done, I went ahead to measure my sleeve opening. My sleeve opening was at 11 inches, and then from that half length I went ahead to measure my waist to hip, which was around 10 inches. Sorry, my camera didn't cover that, but from this waist to hip you get your 10 inches, and that was what I did. I inserted that. So I connected that into a straight line, and after I was done, the next thing I did was to mark out my chest line measurement. This is where I'm going to be inserting my bust measurement. So it was around 10 inches, and also that happened to be where my sleeve opening is going to stop. So the next thing I did was to take my neck depth and my neck width, which I took at 4 inches by 4 inches. The first thing I did was to create a square, then went ahead to get the curve for the neckline. This is easier because for those people that have issues with drawing curves and lines, this serves as a guide. So you make your box first, then it will guide you to create the curve. And also this 4x4 is for the front and the back. The front is going to be 4x4, while for the back is going to be 4x1. But because I'm cutting both of them together, I'm just going to measure 4x1. So when I'm done, I'm going to take out one of the pieces to cut out to deepen that for the front. So the next thing I did now was to take my waist measurement. My waist measurement was 44 inches, and I added extra 4 inches for ease because it is a boo dress. It is free. It's not supposed to be tight as such. Then I took that all the way down to the length of the dress, and then I connected it like you're seeing me doing. I connected that to the armhole opening, and that was it. As simple as that. So the next thing I did was to cut out my patterns and make all the markings, necessary markings, the notches around the waist area, so that it can help me serve as a guide, right? And this was what it looked like after I was done. I went ahead to chalk my back, the wrong side of the fabric, because oftentimes I discovered that some wrong sides can actually go for the right side. So I just chalked that to help me so that I don't go about sewing the wrong side instead of the right side. So that was what I did. So I went ahead to also take out one of the patterns, like I said earlier, because I had cut out the back neck depth for both the front and the back. So I have to take out one so that I can deepen the neck depth for the front. And this was what I did. I just went ahead to cut out the 4x4 for the front for one of the patterns only. Please don't make this mistake. If you're cutting anything that has to do with the back and the front being cut together, please pay attention to this, except the front and the back neckline is the same. Please don't forget this. All right, so this was what I did, and after I was done, I went ahead to mark out. I made a notch on the waist area. I went ahead to use my ruler to mark a straight line, because this is where I'm going to be inserting my rope that will be tied inside of the outfit. So I just used my ruler to mark and connect the notches into a straight line, and that will also help me serve as a guide to know where I'm placing the rope. Right, so after I was done, I went ahead to mark my waist, divide my waist circumference by 4. I already had a crease line in the center, so it's going to be easy for me to allocate. So from that midpoint, I marked it and then divided my waist by 4, and it gave me 9 inches. So from that midpoint, I went ahead and marked my 9 inches to the left and to the right side. So at that point, that is where I'm going to be inserting my strip of fabric that will be tied around the waist area to give it that fit, that shapy look. So the next thing I wanted to do was to cut out about 3 inches width of fabric, of my black fabric, folded on bias. This was what I was going to be using for my bow design. Like I told you, that this is more like a Bow Bubu dress. So I went ahead and did that. I cut it at 3 inches. That's the width of the fabric, cut on bias. There's no particular length, depends on you, but it should be at least twice the circumference of your neckline, or let it be as long as you want. The next thing I cut out was the strip of fabric that will be used to turn up my sleeve. That is 5 inches width by 10 inches length, and I cut about 2 strips of that. And I also went ahead to cut about 2 inches width by 30 inches length that will be used for the rope. And I also went ahead to cut out the facings for the front and the back, and that was it. I folded my rope and hemmed it and divided it into 2, that is making it 15, and attached it to my waist area I marked earlier, on the front only. So the first thing I did was to join the outfit at the shoulder and at the sides. And then when I was done, I went ahead to, fix my turn-up sleeve. I did that off camera, but I'm still going to show you how I was able to achieve that.
So this was how I fixed the sleeve. I brought the right side against the wrong side and I stitched on it, as you can see, right? So right side, right side facing wrong side, right side facing wrong side, and then I stitched it, and then when I was done, I flipped it. So this is how to make a turn up sleeve, right? I did the same thing for the other parts, for the other sleeve. Now this was what it looked like, okay? So now let's get to sewing this place. So the next thing I did was to bring in the facing, the facing that will be used to turn up. I don't want to leave the edges of my neckline raw, so I want to use this fabric to cover it. So I joined them at the shoulder. All right, I joined them at the shoulder and gave it a good press. So this shorter one is for the back, while the deeper one is for the front. All right, so I'm going to be setting this aside to enable me fix our collar. So we're almost done with the tutorial, like I said, right? So this was our long strip of fabric that was cut on bias, all right? So anytime you're doing anything that has to do with a curvy nature, please advisably cut whatever strip of fabric you're going to be using, cut it on bias so that it will be able to lay properly when fixed around the curve area. Like for example, fixing of the neckline and stuff, right? So this was what I did. I just went ahead and sewed in 0.5 inches, and then this whole part, as you can see, this whole part here, okay? So this is the mid part. I sewed there and then I notched. I sewed the part. This part is going to be used to tie the bow. While this other part, that is this raw edge that is left undone, we'll be fixing it on the neckline and we'll be using this one to turn it over. All right. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I had done this tutorial before, but it was not clear, so I had to loosen it so that I could redo it again. Right? So this is what I mean by that. Okay. I notched the center part for the back and for the front, and then I came out by 1 inch from the center, 1 inch to the left and 1 inch to the right. Right? 1 inch from this center, 1 inch here, and 1 inch to this other part. So I'm going to be fixing this together. In the center part. Okay. Center part like this. I'm just going to pin it. I see what I'm doing. I'm just aligning it gradually so that I don't have any shortages. There you go. Here and here, pin it together. Here and here, I'll pin it together. Okay. So there you go. I'll do the same thing for this other part. Here and here, pin it together. Here and here, I'll pin it together. As you can see, this side is already finished. So I'll bring this other part here. Okay, there's the back. I'm going to be looking for the shoulder parts and I'll be matching them together. Sure that they align on the same part, right? Making sure they align on the shoulder so that I don't want to sew them separately, right? I don't want to sew them separately, so I'm just taking my time to make sure they align. So that I'll just use one stitch to secure all of them in place. Okay, so you see. So I'm done, securing the facing to the fabric with a pin. So what I'm going to do right now is to start sewing. And when I'm sewing, I'm going to make sure I insert my hemming gun to secure it in place so that the facing doesn't flip out. I'm taking away my pins. The only thing now that is remaining is for me to take this to my ironing machine and give it a good press. Dinner is served. Right? So let me take that. Let me take this. Let me iron this and show you what it looks like. So guys, here you go. Our Bow Bubu dress is ready. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering how I was able to knot this, I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can see how to knot this bow like a pro. Thank you so very much guys for always stopping by at my channel. I hope that this video was very useful. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you once again. And if you're new to my channel, please do well to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Until I come your way next week, see you in my next video.